Good evening, it's Graham Healy from Healy's Family Boxing Academy. Now, I'm going to do a short video so that you can see on the website what we're actually teaching. Now, as you can see with the basically the family heritage there in the background, Tommy Uren was the 3 times Australian champion who taught my grandfather, who was a professional fighter and a professional boxing trainer in Gordonvale outside Cairns. Then my father Bert Healy became the Queensland champion in 1948. We supported the Boxing Hall of Fame on many events where we met Costa Zoo and Joe Frazier and many others. Basically, what I do is teach people the correct technique for the Healy style of boxing, which is very, let me say, evasive, skillful, straight lefts, straight rights, and what have you. Now, I'm not putting you into the ring or anything like that. Put it this way, you will learn the techniques of the Healy family history by doing bag work and the skills and drills, basically down to the skills and drills. So importantly with boxing is footwork, importantly is how you deliver punches to what area, and the actual skill in delivery and defense. And I've found that everything else that I've done, be it Taekwondo, Yun Jin Do, or even Commando Krav Maga, the footwork and the skills that I learned in boxing is essential to understanding everything else. So even the basic self-defense that I teach some people these days, which is basically unarmed combat in a way, it is founded on the fundamental movements of boxing, which, is very underestimated. It depends what the teacher is, but when you look at, say, Muhammad Ali, for instance, his mentor and his teacher was Angelo Dundee. Now, Angelo Dundee was a master trainer. Look it up on the web and just have a bit of a read about Angelo Dundee. And then when you look at Mike Tyson, who, of course, was, he was a shorter, more powerful fighter. Muhammad Ali was basically an intellectual fighter, Muhammad Ali. But Joe Frazier was more of the, bulldozer sort of type. But his technique and everything was taught to him by Gus D'Amato. So look that up on the web as well, and you see totally different style, totally different build. And then you look at build, and then you look at Smoke and Joe Frazier. I just forget who his trainer was, one of the great heavyweights, but because of his build and small stature, or smaller stature than the others, not small stature really, but small stature as in height, he had to be very evasive. And with Smoke and Joe, he only had really one major technique, and that was the left hook. But he could put that left hook on anyone, drop anyone from anywhere. And, so each particular skill adapts to the particular build of the particular boxer. But that's professional boxing. I don't want to go down that area too much. But if you want to learn the skills and drills, which has seen our family chain through, that is what I'm teaching. I'm teaching you how we do boxing, not how anyone else does boxing. And the big difference is with me that I haven't just done boxing. I was just the quick background. I think you've seen this in the introductory video, but I was the main sparring partner for most of the Queensland State champions in the 70s through my grandfather's gym, and also in Reggie Kirkham's gym in Townsville, Reggie was a professional 12, 15 round fighter those days. Classical situation with Reggie, great guy. He was at the Currajong Club in Townsville, and just in the backyard. We were in a garage in the backyard training with all these professional fighters. And Reggie was a meat worker, just straight out of a Rocky movie, and a fantastic guy. Really knew, he was only sort of tallish and lean, but Reggie's sort of history, or that sort of generation, was the ex-World War II generation. They were lean and mean, and they could hit. And believe you me, there's a whole science in how to deliver punches properly from the bottom of the floor through the hips to deliver the actual punch. Now, again, I'm not teaching professional fighters or anything at the moment. Well, maybe I could do in the future, I don't know. But what I'm doing is just teaching the ordinary person the skills and drills, basically like professional style boxercise. And I don't like using that term because you have aerobics instructors, doing exercise with mitts and pads on. It's got nothing to do with real boxing. Real boxing or real skills and drills from boxing is a whole different ball game. It is a form of self-defense, and I've modified what I do in various other forms of self-defense, like the unarmed combat and what have you. But if you want to focus on boxing skills and drills, guaranteed you will improve your performance very, very quickly with my watchful eye. Now, I can say that now because I'm 71. I'm sort of in the area of being a coach. I'm fully qualified in all the coaching, so-called qualifications. I mean, you really need experience, which I've got, but, I've got all the paperwork as well. And plus, I've got a med science degree. I've got a chiropractic degree, plus I've got a master's in dry needling. So, I'm sort of the complete package. So, okay, that's what I wanted to say. So if you're just interested, at the moment, I'm only doing personal training. I may run classes again. I'll think about that, but I'm just doing personal training, and I'll show you the skills and drills, and just contact me off the website, and we'll have a bit of a chat. If you're you're doing amateur boxing or something like that, and you want to improve your skills, this may help you. Don't ask me to be sparring you, but I will show you the bag work, the speedball work and all that sort of stuff, how we learned to do it. And you will find a big difference, guaranteed, because I don't see many fighters doing what we were taught to do. And especially my father, Dad was just, he had a knockout in both hands. So, you've got to learn how to do that, and you've got to learn the principles behind that. But if you just want to do the skills and drills and understand how to do boxing, just give us a call anyhow, because we're not doing sparring or anything like that. We're just doing the skills and drills. So just think, okay, it's sort of like boxercise, but boxercise with a purpose. And the purpose is to teach you the proper skills and drills of boxing. There's the background. You can flick onto other areas of my website and see the full background, which is quite substantial. Okay, that's Graham Healy from Healy's Family Boxing History background, and a former supporter. Well, still support, but we were financially supporting events at the Boxing Hall of Fame as well, myself and Dad. And our greatest Boxing Hall of Fame time was when we firstly met Costa Zoo. And that was at his prime, and it was just like fantastic. It was just like boxing royalty. And of course, meeting Joe Fraser was great too, and Joe Bugner too. They've all passed away now, but Joe Bugner was a great guy, great fighter. Fought Muhammad Ali twice. And if you want to support anyone, please, by all means, support the Boxing Hall of Fame, because they do a tremendous job for all the past fighters. And what I noticed with the Boxing Hall of Fame is they bring back memories to some of the old timers that really, they're retired, they haven't got much to do. And for my father, it was a pivotal point in his life, because I surprised him one day. Mum knew about it, but Dad didn't. And I said, look, Dad, I'm taking you down to the Boxing Hall of Fame. And he was like retired. Dad was always a hard worker. He was a saddler by trade and upholsterer. And I took him down to the Boxing Hall of Fame. We went down to Melbourne for 3 days. And he came back and said to me, it was the greatest time he'd ever had in his life. He met all his old friends that he thought would passed away. So, connecting people with their past, was a really good thing. And so there's a lot. What you find with boxers, and I've found this without exception, apart from being in the ring, you wouldn't want to be in the ring with some of these fighters, but out of the ring, they're nature's gentlemen. They're just great guys. I mean, they can handle themselves, but they're fantastic. We attended that many Boxing Hall of Fame events, met all the Australian champions and a lot of the American champions. And They were just fantastic. With one mention too, I was fortunate enough to meet Lionel Rose, a great Aboriginal fighter, and he was great, fantastic. Go onto my website and you'll see all the photos, and also the one and only Johnny Famechon. Now, my father was very much. We knew Ambrose Palmer, well, my grandfather did, and Ambrose Palmer he was an unreal athlete, a great trainer, and he taught Johnny Famechon, who was one of Australia's greatest fighters and skillful, just totally skillful, elusive. And that was just like my father was. So, okay, Graham Healy over now. I hope you understand what we're actually teaching. So we're not, bashing up people or anything like that. We're teaching you the correct skills of boxing without getting hurt. Now, if you want to be a boxer and take it into the ring, that's a different story. That the stuff I'm teaching you can improve that. But that requires sparring and all the rest of it. Of course, I won't be sparring you, but I'm quite happy to facilitate that if it's necessary. Okay, Graham Healy over and out. Have a great night, and thank you for listening.